Hello. Hello, chatty trustees and everyone else.
Take off your lanyard.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for joining us for what we think is an extremely exciting afternoon. As many of you know, the museum is told in chapters, much like a book. Today we are standing in chapter 10, which is called Responsibility and Hope. It was labeled this when these chapters were named back when the museum opened in 2001. It was designed so as you conclude your tour, you explore choices and consequences here. And one of the things we talk about here is about finding hope and light amidst the darkness. This was intentional. While we have this beautiful overlook, a view of the skyline of downtown Oklahoma City, knowing that hope would find different ways to show up and teach us as we move on to the years of light. In 2005, N. Scott Momaday authored a commemorative poem for our inaugural Reflections of Hope Award called In the Spirit of Hope. It's very appropriate, so I'm going to read it today. We place words upon the earth. We plant the seeds that lie dormant in the ashes of despair. We are present in our words. We are alive in our words. Our words are the seeds of our being, our survival, our soul's quest to be nourished and loved, to be named in celebration, to flourish in a harvest of hope. Today, we, as a community, are flourishing in a harvest of hope. We've done lots and lots of things, dozens of events throughout this 30th anniversary year, focus on both remembering and being a light to our community. When the Thunder planted their roots in Oklahoma City in 2008, they made our mission their mission, bringing all new players and staff to learn this story and to teach the next generation the true heart of our city, the people. Then came Sunday night, June 22nd. The Oklahoma City Thunder, who had worked their way through the playoffs, I'd like to say we worked our way through the playoffs too, to claim the NBA championship. It was a night our city will never forget. And on this street, Robinson, on one end marks the darkest day in our city's history. And then just 7 blocks south, on that very same street, the most triumphant day, a day that marks a total renaissance of our city. It's not lost on anyone that we have worked through the darkest days and are enjoying years of light. Of course, we would give all of this back to have those 168 back. But knowing that is not so, it is a symbol of how our community has worked together to come together as one and rebuild. There are many of you here that helped us get to today. There were seeds planted, there were words said, and those words are the seeds of our being, as poet Momaday reminds us. Then on that Celebration Tuesday, as the more than 500,000 people from all walks of life, young and old, coming together as one, much like we had seen in 1995, but this time they gathered to celebrate what Oklahoma City had done, and hope was found again in that celebration. Photographer Jimmy Doe found his way to the corner of 5th and Harvey, just outside the Memorial's 903 gate. That's the gate that represents moving forward and healing and hope. We were honored that the parade would make it past our sacred site, and we loved when thousands found their way here to watch the parade. We loved that people know they could find hope here. Then, as he normally does, Jimmy snapped hundreds of photographs that day, but this one caught his eye. And it also caught the attention of his boss, Dan Mahoney, who, by the way, was the communications director for Governor Keating in 1995. And he passed it along, and it caught our eye. And we saw both before us, both tragedy and triumph. We saw a community that we'll never forget, but that could also celebrate. On the very street where the largest domestic terrorist attack on American soil took place, and in the opposite direction that the yellow rental truck was headed that fateful morning 30 years ago, was a team of champions on bus number 30. Their leader, Shay, would throw out his arms and create a symbol that as a city, we know firsthand good always overcomes evil. We are very grateful that the Thunder has given the memorial the photograph for our collection, and there'll be more on sale in the store, as a fundraiser for our New Forward project. And we're also very grateful to Thunder's Jimmy Doe, Dan Mahoney, Brian Burns, our trustee Sam Presti, and Thunder Chair Clay Bennett. And we say thank you for always making this place a priority today and always. Today we get to unveil the story of how hope wins. So Jimmy and Carrie, if you'll join me. We're going to have an unveiling. Dan, great. Everybody good? All right. All right, I'd like for Dan and Jimmy to come up and say a few words and maybe take a question.
Thank you. There obviously is not a more appropriate place for this photo to be than right where it is right now. And we are honored that we have this opportunity to supply this and make sure that people who come to this place see exactly what we all know, which is the resilience of a community. And that photo that Jimmy took on that slightly warm June afternoon reflects that so well. It truly reflects hope over hate, triumph over tragedy, and it's very special to us, and obviously very special to the community, and very special to the hundreds of people who've asked me if they can have a print of it. So on that day, several hours after the parade ended, we were all still kind of on a high from the day, obviously, but a sort of a celebratory, amazing day that it was. I was getting ready to go into a restaurant for dinner. I'm in my car, and I'm, looking at my phone, and I was eagerly awaiting all of the content that was going to be coming from all of our crews. We have 20, probably videographers, drone operators, still photographers, and I kind of couldn't wait to see what everybody gathered because it was such an amazing day. As usual, the first folder of photos I got was from Jimmy, because Jimmy has a work flow like no one else. He's very quick, but very thorough. And I said, okay, cool, Jimmy's photos. I get to look at them. I opened the folder. The first photo I looked at was that one. I don't think I've looked at any more since, Jimmy, of your photos. It touched me. I broke down. It was so special, personally, because of it kind of brought my two phases of my career together, working with Governor Mrs. Keating and now obviously with the Thunder. And I got so excited. I sent it to Carrie. I sent it to our executive team. I think I sent it to my sister in Arizona. I sent it everywhere. And then suddenly I realized, maybe the Thunder should put that out first. But too late. And some other members of our executive team put it out, which was all fantastic, and everyone just reacted to it in such a positive way. And so when it came time to answering all the requests, where can I buy it? Where will it be displayed? Can I get a link to download it? Can I take it to Walgreens? All those things that come up because people want to display it in their homes, their offices, because it is very special and represents so much. That's when Carrie and I started talking, and we decided the best way to do it is obviously provide it for display here in the memorial, but also for sale in the memorial shop and online. So we're very, very proud that we can tell our fans and our people in our community, yes, you can get it, and it helps support the memorial. A couple words about Jimmy. Jimmy is pretty unassuming as a photographer. He lets his photos speak for himself or speak for themselves. But as you look at that photo, and those of you who are photographers would know, it was framed absolutely perfectly. The symmetry of the trees, the west gate, the opening in the west gate, and obviously Shay's arms said so much and was just framed so perfectly. Jimmy Doe has the eye of a good photographer, but he's got the heart of a great photographer. And I'd like to invite him up to say a few words. And knowing Jimmy, it will be just a few words.
Thanks, Dan. Just because of all that, leading up to all the attention, I don't regret one bit for making Dan work overtime on my behalf from managing all this. But yeah, I just want to thank the Thunder organization for just putting me in a spot to be able to capture that shot. It's a tremendous honor just to be able to capture an image that touched so many people. Early on in my career, I lived at that building at the Regency. And so this place has a special place in my heart. And I'm very familiar with it, just working with the Thunder, doing photography for them here. Now you got me in my feelings. But yeah, it was an awesome day. I just want to get back to the photo. To me, like Dan said, technically, I love how the photo was symmetrical, because it just had to be, you know, because you don't want to, you want to have the story told right with its context, okay? So, but on another level, I think the photo is symbolic of the resiliency of the city. And I love that story being told. You know, I've had maybe a few moments to just kind of reflect on it, looking over it over and over again. And it says so many things to so many people, which is cool. And I really love that aspect of it. And I'm just tremendously humbled and honored that I get to help tell part of that story here. So, yeah, thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me. And thank you. That's all.
Another photo that went viral was also the photograph of Sarah Sweet with her kiddo and the T-shirt on her dad's chair, which is also a wonderful way to connect these two fabulous organizations and tell the story in an awesome way. If you'd like to buy a print of this, they're available in the store and online. So tell all your friends. So thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. So I was going to say this, but 5 days later, he was in Minneapolis covering Chet Holmgren's basketball camp.
When we first started, when we were talking, he was there.
Well, we were on the phone that night already. Had a 6 a.m. flight to the NBA draft.
Oh, they went to the draft.